What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shooky from Shook Earth Media, and today we are talking about Tragedy of Macbeth. Now, this is the new film from Joel Coen, who is half of the Coen brothers. And for those who don't know, Coen brothers are my favorite directors of all time, and I will absolutely go out of my way to see every film that they release. And this is absolutely stunning. There's only a few maybe trademarks where you could say that, oh, it's a Coen brothers film, but by and large, if you took the names off and you had no idea, it would be hard to tell that it's a Coen brothers movie. But it is absolutely stunning, okay? I loved the cinematography and the performances in this film, and that is, of course, what you're going there to see. As a Shakespeare adaptation, most of us know these stories already. It is not about the words on the page, it's all in the execution. And this, it's absolutely flawless. You're gonna love it, okay? I love the story of Macbeth. It's not my favorite, like, Shakespeare or anything like that, but I've seen so many adaptations, and this one blows all of them out of the water. It takes place in this shadowy, foggy dreamscape, and it's incredibly surreal. Every shot is really well thought out. It's that cliche, every frame is a painting. That is this movie. There's so many striking images that will stick in your head for anytime I think of Macbeth, I'm gonna think of this movie. It's just a phenomenally well done story. We got Denzel Washington as Macbeth. He kills it with this performance. Incredible. The subtlety of all the performances is what you're here to see. The soliloquies, I was worried that the soliloquies were that every time a Shakespeare adaptation comes about, the language can be a barrier. And this film makes it seem really natural, and it's all in the subtext. That's the thing with these Shakespeare adaptations. It's all in the execution, the directing, the performances. It's all in how the subtext is brought to the forefront. In this film, you almost don't have to be listening to the dialogue at all. You can see every detail on the faces, on the expressions, everything you need to know. You could put this movie on mute, but don't do that because there's amazing sound design. We'll get back to that. But it's really great performances. Absolutely, everybody knocked that out of the park. All the characters are so distinct, and it's like this movie brought the story to life in a way that I haven't really seen it before. You know, I've read it on the page, studied it in school, seen a couple movies of it, but this is the first time where the visuals really tell the story. Usually the visuals take a back seat. As I said, there's a lot. It's the art house version, okay? This is a very it feels low budget. It definitely is a low budget movie in the best way possible, okay? There's not a lot in terms of, like, ornate set design. It's very minimalistic. It's an artistic, expressionist take on it. The sets are all rather plain. It almost reminded me of, if you ever play the game Eco, or Shadow of the Colossus, you know, just how big everything feels, but it's also sparse at the same time, and it just has this larger-than-life feel, and yet it's that plus this shadowy, cloudy, shadowy landscape. It's shot in 4:3, it's done in black and white, and the play on light and shadow is absolutely, like, some of the best I've ever seen. A perfect example is in the soliloquy where Macbeth sees a knife, and he's talking about, you know, what he's about to do is in killing the king. He's walking through, you know, there's these archways, and he's walking through this little hallway to a door, because the knife he sees is actually a door handle. And he's phasing in and out of shadow as he passes by these archways, right? It almost reminds me of, if you've ever seen that photo of Kanye West's house, or Ye's house, as I should say now. Ye's house, when it was just this really sparse area, this wide open space, these long corridors and these archways. that is Macbeth's castle in this movie, and it feels like a really it's oppressive landscape, and that play on light and dark is so striking. There's so many images. I didn't even bring up the witches. The witches is played by one actress, and when you meet them, you see like this it reflected in this pool when Macbeth sees them for the first time, and there's the two of them in the water and the one on the surface, and then the ones in the water phase out into reality. It's some really trippy stuff. They phase into like crows, so there's all this symbolism with birds and crows and stuff. And the witches absolutely steal the show in this. When she's introduced, very striking images. She's doing like contortionist, like weird bendy stuff. That first scene when you first see her, she's talking to herself like Gollum, dude. It's really, it felt like very inspired by the Andy Serkis, Peter Jackson vision of Gollum, kind of that in the Shakespearean language. Absolutely phenomenal. The script takes a lot of liberties with the language. It seems to trim down a lot, but I didn't feel like anything was missing. So, I know based on studying it before that there is stuff left out, but I don't feel it was necessary at all. They told with the visuals. And again, like I said, we're not there for the words. We're there for the performances. We're there for the characters. We're there for the imagery. And it's all there. And there's so many amazing shots that I will never forget. Like, again, the witches, when you see them later, they're just perched up on these, like, scaffolding, and they're looking down, and the bubble, toil, and trouble part, and it's like this room is filled with this water. I don't want to spoil too much, because it's so unforgettable. You're gonna love it. And, like, obviously you know the plot, but if I describe it too much, it's going to spoil it. So I'm not going to say too much more about it. But just the play on light and dark, one of the first soliloquies that Denzel Washington, Lord Macbeth, has, he's in this tent, and you see the shadows of the trees around it. And the film goes from darkness to light, and then darkness again, and then it gets even darker, and then it surprised me. I thought it was just going to be like stormy, cloudy stuff at the end, but it got bright again, visually, and I absolutely am stunned by this movie. It's a minimalistic take on it. Like I said, it's not like this ornate set design, this historically accurate take on it at all. In fact, I don't even think the accents, I don't think there was any Scottish accents happening. So it's not at all like trying to be historical or anything like that. Frances McDormand, we haven't mentioned her yet, as Lady Macbeth. When she goes into madness at the end, she does an amazing job. Her performance is so good. It really is. It's so good. Even like the character actors, like the witches, and the porter, who's kind of like the comic relief, the only comic relief in the original play, he's in this for one scene, and the character, this is when you see the Coen brothers peek in a little bit, because they always have these very distinct, quirky characters in their movies, and the witches and the porter are that in this movie. But the rest of it, it's hard to think of it as a Coen Brothers movie. It kind of just is. I mean, it's only one of them, obviously, but it really just, it's such a stunning visual treat. Bruno Del Bonel, who is the cinematographer, he shot the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and I'm forgetting the name of the previous film to that he did with the Coen Brothers, so it's not Roger Deakins, but Bruno, I've never seen him shoot something like this. I know he did Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and there's a lot of Harry Potter actors in this, actually. We got I got their names here. Harry Melling, he was Dudley in Harry Potter. He's the king's son. Yeah, the guy who played Mad-Eye Moody, he's in this as the king. He does an amazing job. And the actress who plays the witches, I believe she was in Harry Potter as well. There's a lot of Harry Potter actors, so if you're a Harry Potter fan, it might be fun just to see all the people you recognize. So it's like a weird reunion of sorts. But overall, it's absolutely stunning. I want to see it again, because I already know the story, but just the visuals and just soaking it all in, man. I almost want to read the play again and then go see the movie so I have a better grasp on what's different. But absolutely stunning film. I'm blown away. So many like genius little things, like visually. There's some great fight scenes. We never really had fight scenes in a Coen brother film, and there's some good fight scene choreography at the end that really ties in with the story and everything. And it's not too elaborate or anything, but it's very effective. And again, just incredible cinematography. Just like, I mean, just the image of the witches and the image of Frances McDormand, like, perched on this rock face over this edge. Like, that is burned in my brain. Just that there's a final fight scene where we're looking at them, on this, like, what'd you call it? Just at the top of the castle and stuff, and it's just so many striking images. Just the fog everywhere. It's this dreamscape, nightmarish landscape. Absolutely incredible. So I might have some recency bias here, but I have to say that this is my favorite movie I've seen from 2021. My favorite movie of the year. There's no doubt in my mind. I love this movie, and I want to see it again and again. I can't imagine a better take on Macbeth. So if you have any interest in Shakespeare, see this movie. If you like the Coen brothers, it's something very different from their usual fare, but it has such a striking, unique style. If you're into art house movies, I'm an art house guy. I'm like halfway between art house and nerdy. So this is like right up my wheelhouse. This is like the ideal movie for me. Absolutely stunning. I think I've mentioned pretty much everything. I mean, the only other thing would be to mention shots that I remember, like the long shadows you see. All so good. I mean, there's one shot where I believe it was Banquo being a spotlight shown down on him, and then he has a soliloquy, and then the spotlight goes away, and it fades to these massive archways and the light streaming through them. Man, if you love cinematography, you have to see this movie. I don't even care if you care about the story. Denzel Washington, Frances McDormand, Catherine Hunter, who played the witches, absolutely amazing. So I can't rave about this movie enough. I feel like I've said everything that needs to be said. So please go see this movie. It is dropping on Apple Plus or Apple TV Plus. There's a subscription service. It's an Apple original movie. I saw it in the theaters, but it's dropping on Apple Plus on January 14th. So you can get the free trial, watch it for free. Highly recommended. You won't, if you're interested in it based on me describing it, you won't be disappointed. You'll absolutely love it. I mean, dude, the forest in the throne room, oh, when you see it, you'll know what I mean. It's so good. I love it. Please watch it. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you on the next one, guys. I think my next video is going to be my Halo Infinite review. I hope everybody had a happy new year, and I wish everybody the best for this year. And yeah, hope to see you again on the next video. Sub if you like this review, hit me with that like button, comment down below if you've seen the movie and you want to talk about it, or if you have questions about it, would love to discuss with you. And thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.